You are listening to the Rewards Canada podcast.
Hello, and welcome to episode 103 of the Rewards Canada podcast. In this episode, we are going to discuss our recently released feature that ranked the 5 best travel rewards points currencies in Canada. You may have seen it on our site or even in the media, as it did receive some great coverage, but just in case you haven't, or if you have and you want to hear a little bit more about the rankings, this podcast covers it for you. If you've been visiting Rewards Canada for the better part of a decade or more, you'll recall we did this back in 2014. We did our first rankings of the top travel currencies at that time. And to be honest with you, they haven't changed a whole bunch since that time in those last 9 years. We did lose Starwood Preferred Guest. I mean, that was one of the top, it was the top hotel loyalty program, and it was really good for Canadians back then. Marriott Bonvoy, which replaced it, is still great. However, it didn't make it into the rankings because we're kind of looking at Canada as a whole and all types of Canadians as a whole for these rankings. So there's a few changes there. You'll want to note the program we had as the one to watch out for in 2014 is now ranked in there as well, and I'll mention that later here in this podcast. So when we consider which points currencies to make up our top 5, we take into account all Canadians who collect and redeem travel rewards points. We're not just focusing on frequent travelers, which I think we kind of did more so back in 2014. This one, we're trying to be all-encompassing, all Canadians, all ages, that can collect points, all types of people. We're not, like I said, not focusing frequent travelers, not focusing on the 6-figure credit card spenders or the gamers of credit cards. Literally, we're looking at anyone and everyone who utilize the programs and want to use them to reach their travel goals, their travel dreams, and so much more. So not only is this whole feature and ranking for frequent travelers, it's also for frequent shoppers, high-end credit card spenders, low-end credit card spenders, people who take multiple vacations a year or travel multiple times per year, those who may only vacation once every few years, and everyone in between. And I do want to note, when we first released this feature, or we're going to first release this feature, Air Miles was ranked as the 5th best points currency. But the date we were going to release this feature was the same day that Air Miles declared bankruptcy, well, their parent company. And even though BMO has agreed to purchase Air Miles, we still don't have 100% certainty that this is going to happen. I mean, in all likelihood it will, but I just felt that with the uncertainty right now, I could not keep Air Miles in the rankings just because we don't know what is going on. We don't know what's going to transpire, what the program's going to look like. So we had to go back to the drawing board and move our 6th place ranked program up to 5th. So a little bit of back-end programming, designing our website around that. And so we released it on March 15th. And now here we have our podcast and video on YouTube covering this. And before I get into the 5 travel rewards currencies, tip that I'm taking right off our website is you don't have to use just one of these programs. You can use as many of them as you want, one of them, 2, 3, 4, 5, you name it, and even more outside of these 5. Like I said, these are the top 5 overall. We're taking into account all of Canada. However, what is best for a person in Saskatchewan may not be the best for a person in Toronto, and a person who shops at one type of store, it may not be best for the person who shops at a different type of store. So these are, again, like pretty much everything on the Rewards Canada site, these are kind of to help you learn, to educate you, and to guide you to making the right decision for yourself so that you can pick the right credit cards, the right loyalty programs that make the most sense for you. But in general, these top 5 loyalty points currencies should work for the majority of Canadians. And so let's get into it. Let's get into the top 5. Number 1, and they were number 1 back in 2014 and are number 1 today in 2023, American Express membership rewards points. They are by far and away the best rewards currency in Canada, not just for travel, but also for cash back. They're just so valuable and so flexible. And really, if you don't have an Amex card earning membership rewards points, you may want to look into it, even if it doesn't become your primary program, but try and boost the overall value of your whole portfolio of programs by doing so, by getting into the membership rewards program. And we ranked it as number 1 because it earned 19 out of 20 stars total. Ease of earning, that's the earning of the points, how easy it is, 4 out of 5. And that's strictly because of the acceptance of American Express cards. It is lower than Visa or MasterCard, so we could only rank it 4 out of 5 stars because most places do take it, but you have some notable places like Loblaw stores that do not. Ease of redeeming, 5 out of 5 stars. They're so easy to redeem and so easy to use. They get the whole 5 stars there. Same with flexibility. There's no program in Canada that's as flexible as membership rewards because you have the ability to use the points towards any travel. Like you can go out and book travel yourself, redeem the points against a charge. You can use Amex's fixed points for travel, which is their set points travel chart. You can convert them to some of the best other loyalty programs in Canada like Air Canada Aeroplan, British Airways Executive Club, Marriott Bonvoy, and Air France KLM Flying Blue, and a few others. And of course, like I said, you can even convert them or use them as cash back, and you don't lose value in that cash back redemption when compared to the any travel option. So just so much flexibility in this program. And because of all that, their overall value is also 5 out of 5 stars because you have up to 5% return on cash back. You have up to a 5% return on any travel, up to a 10% return for your Amex fixed point for travel. And then if you convert them to Aeroplan, British Airways, those other programs, I'd like to say sky's the limit in terms of value. It really isn't, but you should be able to see, you can see 10%, 20%, sometimes even 30% return on your spending. So like, honestly, this program has everything covered, provides a ton of value, ton of flexibility, and is super easy to use. And hence they are the number 1 in Canada. And that leads us to number 2. And those are Air Canada Aeroplan points. And since you can convert membership rewards to Aeroplan, you can figure out why membership rewards actually took top spot and not Aeroplan. Aeroplan in terms of ease of earning, or I guess overall, what do we have here? They earned 18 out of 20 stars. Ease of earning is 4.5 stars out of 5. Because of course they have Visa cards and American Express cards. So Visa, acceptance pretty much everywhere. So very easy to earn. They just lost half a star there because they just don't have as many, I guess, non-travel partners like they used to. Like they're not so much a coalition program. They're focusing more on the frequent flyer program, which is great. I mean, that's what their focus should be. But they have like Starbucks, Uber, and all that. So that's why they gain that extra half a star over something like Amex. Ease of redeeming, 5 stars. Again, super easy now, especially with the family points pooling, the part cash, part points options. You don't have to have the full amount of points to redeem for flights. A lot of other redemption options. In fact, you can redeem as little as 400 points to get a Starbucks reward. So they've made redeeming in the program super easy. Flexibility comes down though. That's where they lose a 1.5 stars. It's only 3.5 out of 5. And really, that just comes down to the amount of places you can redeem. The flexibility in redeeming these points is that even though they are like one of the biggest frequent flyer programs in terms of airline partners with nearly 50 airline partners, you still don't have that option of any airline at any time like you do with some of the other programs. So the flexibility is a little bit less there, and always the availability can be limited on those partner airlines. So you could be limited to just redeeming on Air Canada, and if Air Canada flights are expensive or getting full, you're going to pay a lot more points because the redemptions on Air Canada flights are dynamic. So that's why flexibility, they take a bit of a hit there. But overall value, 5 stars again, because this is where you get the outsized value for redeeming for business class, first class flights. Just so much value in the program as well. It ties into membership rewards. Actually, Aeroplan helps bump up membership rewards. So yeah, tons of value. Even in economy class, you're probably looking at 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 cents per point for value. So again, great overall program. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is Scotiabank's and Cineplex and Empire Group's Scene Plus points. This is the one I was mentioning at the start of the podcast. That was the one to look out for back in 2014, because at that time Cineplex had mentioned that they wanted to grow Scene into a coalition program. And while it took a little bit longer than they thought, it's here. Scene Plus has become the, I would say, dominant coalition program in Canada, taken over from Air Miles. And Scene Plus overall also earned 18 out of 20 stars, just like Aeroplan. But because we think Aeroplan has more value, that's why we rank Scene in the 3rd spot. Ease of earning, 5 out of 5 stars, because you have credit cards, you have the groceries. You're going to have home hardware soon. There's just a lot of easy ways to earn points with the Scene Plus program. Same with ease of redeeming. Again, you can redeem points for any travel at any time if you have a Scene Plus credit card, or you can redeem points via Scene Plus travel, but at a very low amount. If you only have 100 points, you can use 100 points via Scene Plus travel if you're not a Scene Plus credit card holder. So you have all those options. You can redeem for cash back, groceries. It doesn't lose value for groceries, doesn't lose value for dining, movies. Just very easy to redeem again. Flexibility comes down to 4 out of 5 stars, just kind of because there's no conversion options with the program. So it's a little less flexible than, say, membership rewards. And then overall value, we also gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And that's because you don't get the outsized value for redeeming for business class or first class flights. You can't like you can with membership rewards and Aeroplan and some of those other programs. So again, it's great value in terms of economy class. And with 80, 90, probably 90, over 90% of Canadians redeeming only for economy class, Scene Plus provides great value in the program. So, but we just have to dock it that 1 star because you just don't gain any extra outsized value like you would with the other programs for business or first class. And that brings us to number 4, and those are RBC Avion Rewards Points. And overall, they earned 16.5 stars out of 20. They were also ranked in the top 5 in 2014, and they've kept their place there. EASA earning 4.5 out of 5 stars because most of the earning is strictly on the credit cards. No additional partners where you can kind of earn without using a credit card like you can with Scene Plus. Really, to get 5 out of 5 stars on earning, it kind of pushes that direction. But it is, Visa cards, very easy to earn points in general on your everyday spending. Easy redeeming, 5 stars. Again, very easy to redeem these points. You can redeem via the Avion Air redemption schedule. You can redeem 100 points, $1 for any travel that you book via RBC Rewards. They have other cashback options, financial options, so many different easy ways to redeem. Flexibility, though, comes down to 4 out of 5 stars because you have to book that travel through Avion Rewards. You cannot go out and book travel on your own. Well, technically you can, but then you do a cashback redemption and you're losing lots of value. So it's not really the best option to do that with the card. So, or with the RBC Avion Rewards program. So they do lose a bit on flexibility just because you can't go book your own travel like you can with pretty much HSBC rewards, Scene Plus, Amex membership rewards. They all let you do that. And you don't lose value like you would with RBC. And then overall value, this is where they take the big hit of 2 stars. They only earn 3 out of 5. And that's because the cards don't earn very much compared to the competitors. If you've followed Rewards Canada, listened to my podcasts, read our articles, we call RBC Avion Rewards one of the most expensive loyalty programs because in general they only earn 1 to 1.25 points per dollar spent, when a lot of the competitors are offering 5 to 6 points with the same or better value. So you can see, so it's going to take you a lot more to spend on these credit cards to get to rewards within the RBC Avion Rewards program. So that's why we bring the overall value down. Now, we did just release a loyalty lesson on how you can bump up your earn rates by adding an Ion Plus card to your Avion Visa card, where you'll be earning up to 3 points per dollar. So that's better, but it's still not the 5 or 6 we're seeing with other programs. So it's moving up, but its overall value is still 3 out of 5. And then rounding out our top 5, taking the spot that Air Miles was supposed to be in, are HSBC Rewards Points. And they come in with 16 out of 20 stars. When we first released these rankings in 2014, HSBC didn't even have a public credit card. You can only get credit cards through them if you're a banking client. So they weren't even considered for the rankings. But lots changed in 2017 when they launched their famous HSBC World Elite MasterCard. And that's really where these points or their ranking ties into that card, because that's like their primary card. So overall, your ease of earnings 4 out of 5 stars, because there's only one credit card that you really have an option to earn points with that provide the overall 16 out of 20 stars. I mean, other cards in the bank just don't meet this. Ease of redeeming 3.5 out of 5. It's a little bit lower because of there need to have tier levels. You have to have 25,000 points before you can redeem towards any travel. And then you redeem in 10,000 point increments after that. Same thing when you convert to their airline partners. You need to have at least 25,000 points. So the ease of redeeming is a little bit lower because you have to reach those certain levels. I think for a lot of people, that's not a huge deal, but compared to the other programs, it's not as easy, so they get lower stars. Flexibility, 4.5 stars. And again, we tie in kind of that ease of redeeming into flexibility because you do have to get to those minimal levels. You can go out and book any travel you like and then redeem points against the charge. They give a little bit less time than, say, membership rewards or Scene Plus, so that gave them a little bit of a knock there. And then you can also convert to airline programs, which we love. I mean, that gives this program huge flexibility. But the limitation of cities and partners from those airline programs, when you compare to, say, membership rewards, which has Air Canada, or Avion Rewards has WestJet, which are very popular with Canadians. HSBC has British Airways, Cathay Pacific, Singapore Airlines, kind of more niche airlines and niche programs for a smaller subset of Canadians. So we had to give it a little bit less on flexibility there because those programs just aren't as appealing as your Air Canadas and WestJets. And then overall value, 4 out of 5 stars. Because you're earning 1 to 3% for any travel, a little bit lower on cashback, even though we're not talking about cashback, but 1 to 3% on travel, whereas, membership rewards, you're up to 5 or more. Scene Plus, you're up to 6%. So it's a great value in HSBC, but just not as great as the others. What gave them a little bit of, or what kept HSBC at 4 is the potential for outsized value, of course, because you can convert to those niche airlines and get more value when redeeming for premium class travel. And that's it. So those were your top 5. American Express membership rewards in first, Air Canada Aeroplan points number 2, Scene Plus points number 3, RBC Avion rewards points number 4, and HSBC rewards points number 5. And then you may be asking, what about all the other programs in Canada? So Air Miles, we've already discussed, but what about like CIBC Aventura, More Rewards, TD Rewards, WestJet Rewards, so on? And honestly, they all play a very significant role in Canada for many Canadians. And for you, for certain Canadians, those programs may make more sense than the ones we list here. Like I said, this is kind of an overall ranking. I don't think any Canadians would be disappointed with any of the top 5, especially the top 3. With Aeroplan, American Express membership rewards, and Scene Plus, they all make a lot of sense for the majority of Canadians. But some of you, CIBC Aventura may be better. Maybe you want to just bank with CIBC. More Rewards may be your program because you shop at Save on Foods, and so on. And WestJet, maybe you fly WestJet the most, so WestJet Rewards makes sense. So again, this is more of a learning tool and a tool to help guide you to the right programs, but we want to put it out there to let you know what value these programs provide. And in our opinion, they are the top 5 programs in Canada. And that's all she wrote for this episode. I want to thank you for tuning into the Rewards Canada podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. And be sure to help spread the word so that we can keep bringing you the best loyalty rewards content in Canada. Share the podcast, hit the like button, leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform. And if you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and the notification button so you get notified of every new video. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.
The Rewards Canada podcast is produced in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with music produced by Regina's own TW KOP.